All right, now this is the next step. We click next over here from personal care physician, and we're going to go to probably the most important page on the intake form, the products and services tab. In this, right on this page, we have chief complaint. Okay, this is all in the intake form. The chief complaint section. This is the most critical section of the intake form because we are listing the reasons why the doctor should write a prescription for this particular patient. Okay, so in order to do that, we're gonna have to learn to ask good questions. Now, this page right here, we're going to come back to after we've done some of the other questions like the medical condition, medical history, and cancer history. We're going to take notes on these pages and then come back to this tab. One good thing about this intake form is we can always go back if we want to change something, we can do that. So we've already determined that the patient has a need for PGX, which is the pharma screening, because they're already on medications. We've already determined that they have a need for a cancer screening. So up here, we're going to type in labs, colon, and then we're going to put in PGX and CGX. Now, I've got a cheat sheet. This thing right here is a cheat sheet. This is a great form to use, which I use every time when I'm putting information in. I want to make sure that this section is done properly. So this cheat sheet is a format that we are to follow when we're putting in the information for the screening, for the chief complaints section over here. Okay, so the labs, PGX, CGX. We will enter in CGX equals 8/16 or 8/6 of 18. Basically, it's the day, the today's date. That's the collections of the samples, okay? So the collection for the CGX has to be different than the collection for the PGX based on their rules. So we'll do it today and then tomorrow when it comes to the PGX collection date. Then we're going to go through a list of symptoms that the patient has told us. These symptoms we will find when we get to the medical condition, medical history, and cancer history. We'll ask those questions and we're taking notes, okay? So for this example, we're going to write down unexplained weight loss. The coding at the end is filled in by MedSymphony, not by us. But what is filled in by us is the explanation of the symptom. Nausea, vomiting, fatigue, anemia, constipation, dry skin. These are all symptoms of hereditary cancer, so we want to make sure we post them, okay? Then the next part is patient, PT, has multiple family history of cancer. Patient is concerned about drug interaction and adverse reactions to other medications. But in here also, patient has multiple family history of cancer. In addition, patient has had a history of cancer. We want to put that in there if the patient has had that, okay? The patient is concerned about drug interaction. That right there is building a case for the PGX screening, okay? Then we want to skip down to the bottom where it says best time to call is the morning. Best day to call is any time, any day. Most of the people that we're screening are elderly, and a lot of them are no longer working outside. So the best time to call and best day to call, those are obviously based on the patient, but we want to make sure we put that in there. So that is that section, and you'll notice the PGX and CGX is checked. We check those. Okay, the hormone replacement therapy, not relevant. DME is not relevant. Non-emergent, not relevant. So you'll notice right over here it says next. Again, we're going to come back to this when we gather the rest of the information, but we want to put down CGX and today's date, which is 9/2/2018. Oops, 18. Next one, PGX. Remember, it's got to be a different date. It's 9/3/2018. Okay. Then you're going to go down to the symptoms. Type those in. So let's type in nausea, vomiting, fatigue, anemia, and then patient has, PT stands for patient, has multiple family history of cancer. Patient has personal history, PH, of cancer, of, let's just say, prostate cancer. Patient is concerned about drug interaction and adverse reactions to other medications. That basically builds the case, supporting evidence for why they need the pharmacogenetic screening as well. Then once you've done that, then you're going to go down here and click next.